New York Times is this Friday reporting that the US is planning to slash the number of fighter jets and warships it provides to NATO allies in Europe.
Of efforts to scale back help and protection for European allies after the United States has done so for at least 80 years.
For decades, America's defense industry enjoyed a position of absolute global dominance that very few believed could ever be challenged. Allies from every corner of the world bought American helicopters, American fighter jets, and American military technology almost by default. It was a multi-billion-dollar relationship built on historical ties, unmatched post-war manufacturing capacity, and the sheer geopolitical gravity of Washington. If you were a Western nation looking to secure your borders, your first and often final stop was a major American defense contractor like Boeing, Lockheed Martin, or Raytheon. But right now, beneath the surface of global military alliances, a quiet but massive rebellion is taking shape. Canada is looking toward European aerospace giant Airbus. Several major European nations are turning away from traditional U.S. defense platforms, and nearly $500 billion in future defense opportunities is suddenly hanging in the balance. If these current trends continue, the shifting alliances could permanently reshape defense manufacturing across the Western world, altering the economic and military balance between North America and Europe. To understand how the ground is shifting, you have to look at the fierce battle unfolding right now over military helicopters. For generations, companies like Boeing, Sikorsky, and Bell dominated North America's rotor sector. Canada's own military history reflects this American legacy through its heavy reliance on fleets like the CH-148 Cyclone, the CH-147F Chinook, and the CH-146 Griffin. These machines are the backbones of Canadian search and rescue, transport, and tactical operations. However, Airbus is no longer content with just supplying commercial airliners. The European giant is aggressively pushing for a much larger role in North America's military defense. The company has rapidly expanded its Canadian aerospace presence, setting its sights on lucrative future military, Coast Guard, and Royal Canadian Mounted Police contracts. But Airbus is playing a completely different game than its American competitors. They aren't just trying to sell helicopters off the assembly line. They are offering Canada something far more valuable: domestic manufacturing jobs, massive technology transfers, engineering expertise, and direct access to a global customer base that spans roughly 170 countries. By pitching advanced platforms like the H-145M, the H-160M, the heavy-duty H-225M, the Tiger attack helicopter, and the NH-90, Airbus is presenting a vision where Canada becomes an industrial production and export hub rather than just a customer paying foreign bills. It is a highly seductive offer for a country looking to revitalize its own aerospace sector, and it represents a direct challenge to the long-held monopoly of American defense giants. This bold move by Airbus is not an isolated incident, but rather part of a much broader, accelerating shift across the entire Western defense industry. For a very long time, NATO procurement was centered around a small, tightly knit group of major suppliers, the vast majority of which were based in the United States. Today, however, governments are actively diversifying their partnerships and looking far beyond their traditional American allies. Sweden's Saab continues to gain massive traction by promoting its Gripen fighter jet and its advanced GlobalEye airborne surveillance platform. At the same time, defense firms from South Korea, Turkey, and various European nations are aggressively expanding their global footprints, taking market share that used to belong to American corporations by default. A prime example of this changing tide came recently when Canada made the high-profile decision to select Saab's GlobalEye surveillance aircraft over competing American offerings. What made this choice particularly significant was the structure of the deal. The GlobalEye system is built directly on top of Bombardier's Canadian-made Global 6500 business jet airframe. By choosing this route, the Canadian government ensured that the multi-billion-dollar project would directly support its own domestic aerospace industry, while simultaneously strengthening its strategic and technological ties with Sweden. The message echoing through the halls of global defense ministries is clear. Modern governments no longer just value raw military capability. They are placing immense weight on technology sharing, local manufacturing, direct industrial investment, and long-term economic partnerships. These major procurement decisions are not happening by accident or coincidence. They are being driven by a profound and deliberate evolution in how nations, particularly Canada, evaluate defense spending. For decades, Canadian defense procurement naturally and overwhelmingly favored American suppliers. It made perfect sense due to geographical proximity, deep institutional cooperation through NORAD, and tightly integrated industrial ties. But the traditional playbook has been thrown out the window. Today, when Ottawa evaluates a massive military contract, the criteria extend far beyond just looking at the equipment's price tag and its performance metrics on the battlefield. Instead, Canada is placing an unprecedented emphasis on domestic manufacturing rights, the transfer of highly sensitive intellectual property, local workforce development, and long-term economic benefits that ripple across the entire country. It is a strategic approach that mirrors what we see in the global automotive industry. Just as smart governments encourage foreign automakers to build local factories, hire local workers, and establish domestic supply chains rather than just importing cars, Canada now expects defense firms to invest directly back into the Canadian economy. The fundamental question being asked of global defense contractors has changed completely. It is no longer simply a matter of what sophisticated hardware you are selling. It is a question of what long-term, tangible value you can create for the nation's workers and industries. When you look at the sheer scale of the financial numbers behind this new Canadian defense strategy, the rush of global companies trying to position themselves in the country makes perfect sense. The nation's updated defense industrial strategy outlines an astonishing $180 billion in upcoming procurement opportunities. On top of that, it projects another $290 billion in defense-related capital investments over the next decade. This brings the grand total to a staggering $470 billion. A defense gold rush of this magnitude has inevitably caught the attention of the world's most powerful corporations and investors. Recent major defense exhibitions, such as CANSEC, have drawn thousands of international defense executives, venture capitalists, military leaders, and government officials, all eager to compete for a piece of this massive financial pie. The Canadian government is fueling this fire by expanding its internal support networks, including a specialized $4 billion investment platform explicitly designed to help domestic defense-related firms scale up their capabilities. Meanwhile, a vibrant ecosystem of tech startups is emerging rapidly across Canada, focusing on critical next-generation fields like artificial intelligence, autonomous systems, advanced Arctic communications, and quantum computing. Much like the global race for electric vehicle batteries and semiconductors, defense manufacturing is officially being treated as a vital, strategic national priority that cannot simply be outsourced to foreign suppliers. What we are witnessing right now across Canada, Europe, and the wider global defense sector is nothing short of a major industrial realignment. The old era of buying military equipment based solely on traditional alliances or raw battlefield performance is rapidly drawing to a close. In this new era, military contracts are being heavily leveraged as potent tools for domestic economic growth, industrial innovation, and national resilience. Success for a defense contractor in the years ahead may depend far less on who can build the single most advanced piece of equipment, and far more on who is willing to deliver the greatest amount of local economic value, technology sharing, and long-term industrial investment. For anyone tracking global manufacturing trends, the parallels to the automotive, semiconductor, and clean energy sectors are impossible to ignore. The race for technological and industrial self-reliance is accelerating at a breakneck pace, and the traditional American defense monopoly is facing its toughest challenge yet. If you want to stay ahead of the curve on the major industrial shifts, defense upgrades, and technology trends reshaping our world, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss our deep dive insights. What do you think about Canada's bold strategy to prioritize local manufacturing and technology transfer over traditional American defense imports? Do you believe European companies like Airbus and Saab will continue to chip away at the market share of U.S. defense giants, or will America find a way to pivot and reclaim its historic dominance? Drop your perspectives, insights, and analysis in the comments section below, and let's get a conversation started.